Quite a lot of people have been asking me to review this controller, and I'm here to please the people, so I went ahead and picked one up for myself. This is the NACON, I think I'm saying that right, NACON Revolution X Unlimited. Now, the reason it's called Unlimited is because you need unlimited disposable income to be able to afford one. Yes, this thing is $200. Have you lost your goddamn mind? $200 for this? It's just, I try to make these videos to help people make smarter decisions, and this is the controller you asked me to buy. So let's see exactly what you're getting for that $200. I must admit, it's a very nice package. You do get one of these cloths to clean your glasses. Obviously, this is for wiping your greasy ass fingerprints off of the LCD screen. So yeah, it's really nice that they've added that in there. You do get a very premium package, and everything is closed up inside this carry case, and it's a very nice carry case, a very big carry case. Usual manuals, and I think we do get a free month of Game Pass with this thing. So let's talk about it. The beauty of this case is that everything fits inside. So inside you can fit the cable, the controller, and the little box full of extra bits. We'll get into that in a minute. Unlike a lot of other carrying cases, like the Elite Series 2, you couldn't fit everything in the case unless you had certain thumbsticks on. So if you had the longer thumbsticks, you couldn't have the cable in the case, and it was just really awkward. Like, it was a pain in the ass to get everything in the case to take it on the go. So kind of defeats the object. This one, very nice, everything fits in. It looks like it's even got room to spare, so you could even add extra things in here if you really want. Some control freaks, an extra cable, I don't know, whatever the hell you feel like, an inhaler, because you're definitely going to be out of breath once you've forked out all the money to buy this thing in the first place. But here we have the controller. Now, first thoughts, this thing's pretty big. Like, it's quite a large controller. It doesn't really look it when it's in the case, but when I get it like in my hand, it's quite a large controller. I'm going to compare this to the GameSir G7HE, which is another officially licensed Xbox controller. And yeah, there's definitely quite a size difference between the two. Not like massive, but noticeable. Feels really, really good. You've got some rubber texture grip. You've got 4 remappable buttons on the back of the controller. You have a headphone jack with a mute toggle. You can switch between the tri-connectivity, so you've got wireless, Bluetooth, and via cable. We've got a switch for A and C. What the hell does that enable? Air conditioning? I don't know. A profile switching button. You've also got some trigger locks as well, so you can turn the triggers into clicky instant triggers. That's nice. I do like that. They're very short as well. They feel really nice. The analog triggers themselves aren't like the best feeling. I don't know. There's something about them. It feels a bit cheap. And although the triggers and bumpers have got this kind of like nice graphite color to them, they kind of look cheap as well. They I don't know what it is. They've just got a bit of a dull semi-gloss to them. And the finish is kind of poor. The finish is really poor on them, actually. So I don't know what's going on there, but we do have 2 remappable buttons on the top of the controller as well. So you've got 6 in total. And so just like a lot of controllers are coming with now, the Razer V3, the Mojon Blitz 2, and it looks like the upcoming G7 Pro will also have some extra buttons on the top as well as shoulder buttons. So you've got lots of options. We're going to talk about that rear button placement. I feel like, actually, they've done kind of a really good job with that. I really like how the buttons are placed, because the way that I hold the controller, I can completely avoid the bottom 2, like the lower 2, if I don't need to use them. But they're there if I need them, and they don't really require much pressure to actually actuate. So yeah, I think they've done a pretty decent job there. Nice and clicky as well. They're all clicky, unlike that Scuf Envision Pro, which for some reason has 2 clicky ones, 2 not so clicky. I mean, where's the sense in that, Scuf? Tell me, please. But yeah, the finish of this controller is kind of like a bit of a rubbery, soft plastic. Now, with my experience of these kinds of finishes, after a little bit of time, they do tend to start peeling away. I'm very worried that it'll start happening with this one. This has got this finish over the faceplate and around the back of the controller as well, so I'm very, very worried that that's not going to hold up very well over time, but I could be wrong. Rubber texture grip on the lower part here. It looks like that slides off. Okay, we're going to get into that in just a minute, but I'm not going to say anything just yet. Yes, I did have to buy this controller with my own money, so please, I'm begging you, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I need it. I cannot be buying controllers this expensive. Base buttons actually feel really good. They are not quite as domed as Xbox style buttons usually are. They've got quite a flat surface, kind of like the DualSense. D-pad actually feels really good. I really like that D-pad. I've got to give it to them. It's kind of a very unique shape, but it feels good. It's very easy to kind of actuate, and then you kind of know what you're pressing all the time. So yeah, no complaints there. Great D-pad. Much better than other controllers. It looks like something happens with these analog sticks, but I can't tell what. Oh, yeah, they just pop off. Okay. We do have that LCD screen in the middle. We're going to get this fired up and take a look at that in a moment. But yeah, I think I've pretty much covered everything. USB-C, it is a recessed port as well, so you will only be able to use a certain size connector. So any USB-C, but it must have like the plastic housing must fit inside that recess. So you are going to be a little bit limited on what cables exactly you can use. But hey, it's not something that a utility knife and a bit of sandpaper can't fix. Don't try that at home. I don't want to be responsible if you hurt yourself. We do have another toggle on the top here, which has got like a lock icon, which what that does is no idea. I have no idea what that does. So if I put it to lock, it doesn't lock the buttons. What the hell does it lock? Okay. Does it lock the cable? That'll be pretty neat if it does. Okay, so at the moment, the cable comes out. So if I lock this thing, no, it doesn't lock the cable. What the hell does that thing lock? What does it lock? Anyway, whatever. That does something, I'll Google it later. Analog sticks actually feel really nice. These are Hall effect analog sticks. Now, the biggest problem with NACON controllers previously is obviously the same as scuff, the same as official Xbox controllers, stick drift. Everybody's sick to death of it. And so all these manufacturers now are trying to implement Hall effect sticks in, but some companies are a little bit too late to the party, such as Scuff and NACON, because they don't like change. They like selling us the same crap over and over for a decade, hoping to squeeze as much money out of everybody as possible. Again, I'm over-exaggerating. Their business practices are not entirely malicious, and their controllers aren't all that bad. Just don't take it too literally, alright? We do have a share button, which is nice since it's an Xbox controller. So you don't really want to be losing any functionality that an original Xbox controller does offer. So that's nice that there is a share button there. So you've still got that. The guide button, start, select. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about just looking at the controller. In the box, we do have a charging dock. And it's got this little rubber protective. I don't know why. Why has it got that on it? Why would it come with something like that if it needs removing? Like, is that really necessary? Anyway, we've got a charging dock, so we can slap this thing on here. So now, unlike most charging docks, they have you stand the controller upright. So just like the Easy SMX up there, the dock keeps the controller upright. For some reason, this one lays it down and you can't stand it up. It would have been nicer if it stood the controller up, but I'm just being really picky. But yeah, it's quite a nice dock. USB-C on the back. Dongle goes in here. So what you can do is hook up the USB-C to your PC directly and then slot the dongle in there. Most docks do this now, so this isn't really a unique feature. But then it just means that you don't need an extra USB port for your dongle and for the dock as well. But yeah, this dock's nothing special. It'll do. Now, I've had a little play around with this stuff already, and yeah, this feature or these features are for a very niche market. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover the things that I do like, and it's going to be, we do have an interchangeable D-pad. So if you do like the standard cross shape, you can go with that one instead. So you can get rid of the dinner plate if you don't like it, and you can just go back to the standard conventional cross D-pad. I'm going to be sticking with the dinner plate. That's just what we're calling them now. It works for me. It's a very welcomed change, but some people do still just like the original cross. So each to their own. Now we do get some extra thumbstick caps in here. We've got a domed. So what comes on the controller is concave, and we can swap it out for a domed top if we want. And there's two of those. But then we also get a taller one, and that one's also domed, and they're both domed. Yeah, so we get two domed taller sticks, but instead of just making the neck of it longer, they've actually made the cap thicker. I don't know why. That looks a bit ugly to me, but again, a personal preference thing. So no concave taller ones. So if you don't like domed, screw you. Moving on. This says 16 Gs on it. So I'm guessing its intended use is a weight. Wait, what the hell is this? Oh, okay, I get what that is. Yeah, so let's talk about these. So you can actually make the controller heavier. So we've been complaining all this time about, controllers with all these features are too heavy. Well, now, if it's not heavy enough, you can just purposefully make your controller heavier for no reason. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's probably 1 or 2 people out there that do want to do this, but like I've just put a 16 gram in the left side here, on my left, your right, my left, and yeah, it adds considerable weight to the controller. Definitely don't want that. If you ask me, you want your controller light as possible. So these to me are completely pointless. Again, it's a personal preference thing, so don't, tear me apart in the comments. If some of you like a heavier controller, if you like making your controller heavier for whatever weird reason, then fine, whatever. You do you. But it just doesn't make sense to me. You want your controller as light as possible to be able to hold the controller as comfortably as possible for as long as possible. So you just wouldn't make your controller heavier. It's just one of these features. Now, if these magnets were in here and it was possible to make the controller lighter, again, sounds like they're giving me what I want, but quite the opposite. Don't make the controller heavier in the first place. So yeah, you either agree with me or you don't. Probably a lot of people don't agree with me, but that's just my personal opinion. You're going to get nothing but honesty on this channel. And, I'm not about to change things up now, and I never will. I will always be as honest and just give my honest opinion, always. And you'll get nothing but that. So you can either take it or leave it. Now, there is an extra thing here. I've spent the last few hours actually trying to work this out, what they are. For some reason, I forgot Google searching things existed, and also I don't like reading manuals. But yeah, now it's actually making sense why they made it so that the cap comes off instead of the neck. So what you can do is you can swap out, or you can attempt to swap out. No? Or maybe it just slides over the top. Yeah, it just slides over the top. So you get these little metal rings, and what they do is they slide on the neck of the joystick, and it makes it thicker. So if you want to alter the radius, so basically how far over the analog stick actually goes before stopping, then you can. That's a pretty neat feature, actually. I like that. I do like that a lot, especially for FPS games. That is definitely going to be quite helpful for a lot of people to fine-tune things. I do like mine to be as thin as possible, because I do like the most amount of motion range as possible. So I'm just going to be leaving as is with none of those on, but you can make them thicker. And there's 2 different sizes as well. So there's 2 different options. That's really all that you get in there. Cable, we always like to mention these. This actually, yeah, it's a decent cable. Braided, USB-C. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. It's a cable. No complaints. Yeah, paying $200 for a controller, I would expect the absolute world's best cable, and it's not. I think it's okay. It's acceptable. Nothing special. I mean, for $200, I'd expect the cable to light up or have like customizable RGB, or I don't know, be gold plated or something, but we can't be too greedy. Now, really, I've got to kind of start playing with the controller, get used to it, and give it a real good test out. Really, it's a nice feeling controller. I'm a bit concerned about durability. It does feel a bit cheaply built, which is why, yeah, $200 is a little bit much. Does feel cheap, but it does offer lots of features. Now, if it were down to me, I would trade features for durability. If you're spending over $100 on something, it's gotta last. And you don't want it looking ugly after like 6 months. So I'm a very heavy controller user. So this thing, if this kind of soft plastic touch finish was to actually start peeling, it would bug the life out of me, and the controller would just start looking ugly over time. But I could be wrong. LCD screen is a fingerprint magnet, so you do need this to get those smudges off. So far, it's kind of 50-50. I do like a lot about the controller. Couple things I don't like about it. It's mainly down to the build quality and the feel. The plastic finish as well, and how everything fits together just looks cheap as well. Definitely not what you expect for $200. Now, they have got to make their money somewhere. They've clearly put a lot of, thought and effort into it. So, I can understand why they are wanting, as big of a return on the controller as possible. There's lots of features, and it is also an Xbox officially licensed controller, so that always rakes in the moolah as well. But I'm going to get playing around with this thing, get it hooked up, get playing some games. I'm going to play around with this LCD screen and the settings and things, and I'll let you know what I think. But that video is going to be coming sometime next week. I'm going away for the weekend, so definitely not going to be for at least a few days. And it's going to be when I come back. So that review will probably come next week, and we'll talk about the performance of the controller. We'll go through all the customization, the settings, and everything else, and we'll really go in depth of what this controller can do. My expectations are high at this kind of price tag. There's definitely controllers that offer just about as much in terms of features and cost a third. So yeah, unless it being an Xbox licensed controller adds like $120 to the price tag, it's got a lot to prove. But that just about wraps it up for today. I look forward to catching you in the next one. I will be playing around with this controller in one of my live streams, so if you want to come over to my other channel, I'll link that in the description for you. Come and hang out with us, drop a like on the video, it really helps out a ton, and don't forget to hit subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss a future upload, and I will see you all next week. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao.